You wake up, it's 2050, what do you Google first? This. n.m.wikipedia.org. It should give me a good idea of what's going on. Damn, 2020 is going to be a very large addition to that list. I know, reminds me of 2001. I think 1991 was similar with the USSR collapse, but I was young then. Lame ass 2011 not pulling its weight. It sat out, building the suspense for 2020. Can't wait for 2021. We making it to 2021? Some of us. Damn. Hess not wrong though. My name. Got to find out if there was a major disturbance over my disappearance or if nobody actually noticed. No results. Same as today. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Letting the days go by. Let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by. Water flowing underground. Time Travelers 2020. The best answer TBH, I'll definitely Google it if I wake up in 2050. Haha, hey Siri, set reminder. Lol, my Google Home will let you set a reminder for up to 9,999 days, 23 hours and 559 minutes. Needless to say, the future will hear my drunken rambles. 273 years from now, Udantyathi Magic Bean's great-great-granddaughter will see a BuzzFeed article titled Top 10 Weirdest Messages Found on Google Time Capsule. They will click on it, and number 7 will be some asinine ramblings about the coronavirus, Donald Trump, and the Popeyes chicken sandwich in a voice that seems eerily familiar. They'll show the recording to their dad, who will have the same feeling, only greater. He knows he must re-establish contact with his own father, however painful that may be. He left for milk and cigarettes one day, before both were banned by President Barron Trump, who ended up much more liberal than his father. Then, this father will hear the voice of his own beloved father, Udantyathi Magic Beans, and he'll be reminded of the horrible day in which his father did, in fact, eat the magic beans and tragically passed away after ripping the loudest fart ever recorded. Wow, thanks for the golds, kind stagers. Plot twist: Google doesn't exist anymore. Bing takes over after people use it jokingly on April Fools, but never stop. 2050 won't be that advanced then. But there sure will be widespread access to high-quality porn. 30 years and nothing changes then. Great! If I don't have RoboAphis in 2050 to sleep with in place of my waifu pillows, then I don't want to live on this planet in 2050. Between 1990 and now, what did we get? Smartphones and ubiquitous broadband are the biggest difference between my childhood and adulthood. By 2050 will probably make the jump from self-driving cars being a thing that exists to the norm. Is there any other tech that just needs a bit more time to get big? I'd bet 2050 looks more like today than we're hoping, but with more techno yodeling. I just go back to sleep, mate. Mood. I'm reading this from bed. Same. This is the third time today I've just laid in bed. I've been in bed all day long. Is Putin still the president of Russia? Oh man, he will never stop. PS in Russian. I think so. Putin also has the power to live eternally, just like Queen Elizabeth. Good conspiracy theory. How much longer until the Winds of Winter release date is announced? Sometime after Patrick Rothfuss announces the release date to Kingkiller Chronicles Book 3. Meanwhile, Brandon Sanderson has written 500 Cosmere books and finished 5 different series for authors that died too soon. My bank details. Interest $. Too bad interest doesn't beat inflation. Also hard to accrue much on $0. Yeah, but what about compound interest? Check this sick amortization table assuming 1% interest, year 1, $0 year 2, $0 year 3, $0 year 4, $0 I could go on, but I don't want anyone's eyes to gloss over it all that unimaginable wealth. Turns on incognito mode. Hand reaches out of monitor and jacks you off. The plot thickens. So does the cum. 30 years of sitting there and it'd be like mayonnaise. My man's balls are shooting lotion after that long. Mars colony. In the late 2010s and early 2020s, several private companies and governments briefly considered sending humans to Mars. It turned out nobody wanted to spend 2 years on a cramped spacecraft pooping in a bag just to die on a rock without internet access. You'd have internet access, your ping would just be 360,000 milliseconds to 2,700,000 milliseconds. So just what playing Apex is like now. Duck, so it's not just me? When did Betty White pass away? Betty White, 1856, present. God bless that woman. Is Elizabeth II still alive? No. She held on until her son, Charles, passed away so he would never be king. Who knew spite alone could keep you alive? Larry David, in season 10 of Curb. I want to see if I can catch up with the times through memes alone. And everybody will call you insert replacement for boomer meme. Alright Zoomer. Best things to Google in 2050. The number one thing to Google in 2050 is to buy in. You're taken aback, wondering if the entire world knows about you. Knows that you don't belong. The pressure mounts, and you want to hide away in a burrow and wait for your strange fame to die down. But everything is connected to cameras in 2050. You're being watched from 4,000 directions at once, burning under all the eyes like an ant under a magnifying glass. You wonder if you shouldn't just get it over with and end your own life. Seems easier than having the entire world staring at you. 247. Then you begin to worry that the search result is I selected specifically to drive you to such a conclusion, and maybe all the searches are by people who want to watch videos of you ending it before you even chose to do so. Couldn't I be so intelligent that it selected a search result that becomes a perfect self-fulfilling prophecy? It's about this time you learn that in 2050, Tobayan is a VR full immersion experiential website that sells lots and lots of hentai with full haptics and goose splash effects with your home 4D nozzle. You spend the next 3 weeks browsing their content, but in subspace, it feels like 3 years. The search result is I selected specifically to drive you to such a conclusion, and maybe all the searches are by people who want to watch videos of you ending it before you even chose to do so. Couldn't I be so intelligent that it selected a search result that becomes a perfect self-fulfilling prophecy? I too am stoked for this season of Westworld. Tom Brady's current team. He went back to the Patriots in 2021 and has won 10 more Super Bowls. Bill's son is now head coach. Further results show he would have won 4 more, but Eli kept coming out of retirement to do his sworn duty for the Giants. Latest lockdown restrictions and links to 8 grams. Hopefully it will be more like a utopia, not a dystopia. I like your optimism. That would be ducking fun. I'd finally have a reason to go outside. Until you realize it's summer and climate change hasn't been stopped, so it's like 55°C. My own name. I have metastatic cancer and a prognosis of about 10 years. I want to know why I'm alive in 2050, and what I managed to get done between now and when I went to sleep. Edit, rip my inbox, thank you so much for the well wishes. Cancer sucks and I'm sorry so many of your lives have been touched by it, too. My mom battled metastatic breast and bone cancer for 16 years, which was about 10 years longer than her prognosis. She always said her hope and optimism was what got her through. Wishing you years of health and happiness. You can do it. Internet high five to her. That gives me hope. Coronavirus Pandemic 2020. Showing results for Coronavirus Pandemic 2020 to 2050. Search instead for Coronavirus Pandemic 2020. Sorry we didn't recognize that request. Searching instead for the Great Plague 2020 to 2046. You might also mean the end times or the Black Death, reloaded.